Welcome everyone. Thank you for taking the time to attend today. I'm in absolute awe at the support, the sponsors, the donations, and all the help that I've received from all the ladies on our platform. What started out as a thought, as Raisa was saying, progressed into a WhatsApp group. And this WhatsApp group was actually started, I was chatting to Riyadh. Riyadh is just an amazing human being, and we met through my husband. And I was just chatting to him casually about something, and he said, "Josh, start this group." And I said, "I don't know anyone. I only know 2 people." So he said, "Don't worry, put me on the group and we'll see what happens." And within a week, we got 80 members on. And just week on, it's just been growing and growing and growing. So I'd just like to take a few moments to tell Riyadh to come up. Just come say hello, Riyadh. He's been ducking and diving from me the whole time. I just want him to come say hello.
Thank you for coming through. Josh put me out here. I'm going to suit it, I knew I was saying something. Networking amongst people is one of my true passions, actually. I left my full-time job 2 months ago just to focus on something like this. So for those who don't know, we also have a few other platforms. A retail group that connects retailers together in South Africa. We currently got about 246 retailers on this group, with 120 people waiting list to get on the group. So WhatsApp's not playing its part by allowing us to make the groups bigger. But what's been amazing about this is the hard work put in by Josh and the team in formalizing the structure, which is absolutely amazing. So I'm sure we'll take you through it later on of the formalization with regards to registration as a public benefit organization, as a non-profit organization, which really takes it to another level. And there's some exciting initiatives that we want to launch and which we want to share for our experiences with other networking groups. So for example, our colleagues in India run a loan system for women that's interest-free. And they currently support 3,600 women in Bangalore alone with interest-free loans. And the system is amazing. And last year alone, they loaned out 9 million rand to women entrepreneurs and startup entrepreneurs. So some of those exciting models we hope to bring through to the women's platform and stuff like that. So we talk about capital, but in my opinion, as an entrepreneur myself, capital is only a small part of the problem. Because good business models, capital follows them. So the real strength is working together to strengthen your business models and strengthening your businesses and the way you come to market, the way you market your products, accessing markets. And that's where the networking here plays a massive role. Because the person sitting next to you could be the key link in turning your business around and taking it to a new level. So I hope you will really take advantage of this amazing platform. I'd like to thank Joshna and the team, and Wasila and the rest of the committee for the hard work they put in. Thank you very much.
Joshna, Nagar, and I'm the founder of Women's Chamber of Entrepreneurs. It's an honor and actually a privilege to be standing here today. Before I tell you about Women's Chamber of Entrepreneurs and where we're going and what we're going to do, I'd like to say thank you to Raisa and Wasila and Kayla. Kayla's not here today, but they've helped to put this event together in such a short space of time. We've been talking about this from February, and just because of the long time it took to formalize the platform, I think we literally had a month, if I'm not mistaken, to get a venue, get goodie bags, and it's just been incredible. So thank you very much to both of you. I've got 2 gift bags for you that were sponsored by a soap company that's worth 1,200 rand. So just a small little thank you from you to both of you. I'd like to thank and acknowledge every single person for being here today. This event will not be made possible if it was not for our support from all the ladies. But before I even start with Women's Chamber of Entrepreneurs, I'd just like to give you a little bit of background to give you an idea of what my journey has been like and how a Women's Chamber of Entrepreneurs started. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm an auntie, I'm a friend, I'm an entrepreneur, and by profession I'm a software developer. I opened my first business in 1996, 1997. That was 3 years after graduating as a software developer. I grossed between 1 and 1.6 million rand that year, in those years. And you know, during that time, I didn't even realize that I might have been one of the highest earning females in South Africa. It was just post-apartheid, and I didn't even acknowledge myself for that. At the peak of my career in 2000, we decided to move to Nelspruit to start a family. And you know, I've always been a very busybody. I could never sit still. My friend Tenu will tell you that we've grown up together. I went into catering, cake decorating. I started a Build-A-Bear concept in Nelspruit. And you know, I studied, I did Black Like Me, studied hairdressing, ethnic hairdressing, beauty. So I sort of dipped into all the fields that I thought I could sort of just, you know, grow myself in any way. I started many businesses. Some were successful, some weren't that successful, but each one has made me grow and evolve in some way or the other. I had a life-changing moment in 2008. My mom passed away, and even though she was not formally diagnosed, we believed that she was bipolar. She displayed all the symptoms of bipolar. And you know, at that moment when you lose someone, you have a choice. It's either you're going to die with them, or you are going to give of yourself to see how can you help such people. And I took the latter choice, and I started a support group in South Africa. We ran the biggest bipolar support group in South Africa. And together with that, I single-handedly put together the biggest convention in South Africa. And you know, this was actually when my fire was lit. I realized one thing when my mother died, and that was that I stopped living a long time ago. You know, life was happening to me and not through me. You know, we've heard that so many times. But in 2008, when she passed away, I decided to find what I was yearning for. So accidentally, and that's a whole long story of its own, I joined a martial arts class called Tang Soo Do. And my teacher convinced me to take part in the South African Championships, which I did. I won the South African Championships in 2009. I was then invited in 2009 to partake in the World Championships for Tang Soo Do, of which I acquired a World Championship status. I acquired a silver and a bronze medal. Later, through that journey of finding myself, I acquired another South African Championship, and then I acquired my black belt. You know, the amazing thing is, through that journey of martial arts, I trained so hard, and my family was there to support me all the way. And I even pictured how I would be receiving my medal. And the day I received my medal, after I had done everything, you know, I was waiting for something to sort of jump out of me to say, you did it. And actually, it didn't. I got the medals, and I'm looking at it and thinking, now what? You know, something was really missing from my life. So during this time of discovering myself, while I was busy with martial arts and starting this bipolar group, my mother left her recipe, her curry chilies recipe, with my husband, which is also another long story. And I actually started that business to fund the bipolar support group. When the bipolar support group dissolved, I decided to take it up into a business. And also chili was born from a creation of my mother's, and we took it all the way. We were one of the 50 businesses that were selected from 200 applications for the Pick and Pay Boost Your Business. Even though we didn't make it all the way to the top, I must say we acquired and achieved quite a bit just during that journey. In 2016, fast forward a little bit, I met a colleague that was in the IT space, and me, myself, being out of the industry for at least 15 years, you know, my core was really shook when I spoke to this entrepreneur, because he had taken his business to those heights that you only dream about, and that we only read about in books. And the one thing that he told me was that, you know, you don't know what you want. And you are not focused enough to achieve what you want. And you know, the sad thing is that deep down, I knew that that was true to an extent. And this was another life-changing moment for me. So again, I had two choices. It was either I was going to shrivel up and go back to being the same person that I was, or I was going to unleash my potential. And that is when I became so inspired. I became hungry to learn. My journey of self-discovery began. And you see, I've always had a nagging feeling that I was not living close, not even close to my true potential. I've seen sparks of it through my journey in life, but I've never seen it unleashed. In the beginning of this year, I had another turning point. I learned through discovering my mission statement, which Leslie helped me with. I was at a course with Robin Banks. You know, all the things that made me fail previously, I'd reach a point in my business, a point in my studying, and somehow I would just not follow through. And the one thing that I found out was that I realized my self-worth was not acknowledged by myself. I did not realize that I was worth receiving all of these things. And that is why I did not acknowledge those medals or being chosen as one of the 50 businesses. All those achievements did not even hit me. And at that moment in January this year, it was actually a light bulb moment for me. I needed people to understand that, you know, and realize actually their self-worth. I just didn't know how I was going to do it. So after a nudge from Riyadh in February, imagine now I found my mission statement and the doors just started opening. We grew this group and the fire within me was ready to light something up. During my journey as a professional, a mom, daughter and wife, aunt and entrepreneur, there's been many challenges that I have faced, and I've always thought that if only I had the support, the tools, and sometimes motivation and inspiration, things would be different. But what I didn't realize and what I've learned is that that success starts with me, with my mind. It starts with discovering who I am, and most importantly, what I want. But the biggest thing is, why do I want it? I decided that this group had to become more than a WhatsApp group. And there was a need for it because the ladies just kept on coming on. And everyone was just, you know, thank you for starting it, we need to connect. And this is when I decided that we needed to formalize this platform. Not only to empower and inspire people, but to start unleashing potential that's just waiting to explode into this world of ours. On this platform, what we are going to do is we would like to provide resources to all our ladies, and one of the things that Riyadh spoke about was the loans. The other thing is we want to give ladies access to market, and we have a dynamic group of ladies on our group which is going to help us with that. And you know, my real vision is to basically start the biggest networking platform, not only in South Africa, but globally. I've set out a program that would ignite your fire, I'm hoping. We have seen it today, speaking about the subconscious mind, and later on we'll be helping with the vision board. I believe once that the journey begins, it flows into self-love, and Bhavna, thank you, from all the way from New Zealand, will be taking us on that journey. And then I believe that after you've discovered who you are, or just started, you can start setting goals and finding your mission statement. And that is Leslie will be taking us through that talk. And then we have Anjana, who will be telling us a little bit about time management. And then we have Hava, who's going to be speaking on business criteria. And today, you know, I'm absolutely in awe of another lady that we're going to call on, and her name is Tasneem. I just met her this year, and she's just been an amazing addition to my life. And she'll give you a little bit more about her business. They've been selected for awards, but I think she represents the company, or is this Think SA company. She's from that company, so she will be talking to you. So I'm really excited about that. The mission of Women's Chamber of Entrepreneurs is huge, but for me, it's really going to be possible. You see, empowerment for me is not only giving tools to people. It's when you take that tool and you do something about it. not only for yourself, but when you share it with other people. And that is what we're going to do today. Inspiration for me is when someone lights up something within you, that light continues to burn, and then it begins to shine so bright that it lights up the path for others to follow. Today, I invite you to be empowered, to be inspired, and to start your journey to unleash your potential. Thank you very much.